Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most anticipated, uncensored experience of friends talking. Just imagine yourself with your friends, the locker room conversation, the boardroom conversation when, the people that you really like are hanging with you. That's what we're doing here. We're chilling. We're chilling. This is a conversation that we hardly focus on being politically correct. No, we're not doing that over here. And I want to thank everybody for taking their time on a beautiful Sunday to reflect and admire the fact that I flew all the way to go get this World Cup. I got to return it, by the way. This is what we are fighting for. This right here. I'm super excited. The world is excited. And you know what's admirable? Observing from inception, we were the most laughed about team. When we didn't have visas 10 days before kickoff, it was a joke. Everybody, there are enough reasons to literally write off Bafana Bafana, which is the South African national team, way before kickoff. But little did you know, we were just there to prove one more time that Helman Kelele's Mpepo is probably the strongest on the market. I texted him, by the way. I sent him a text. I said, bro, give me your supply, because he didn't even have a visa. Now, let me explain to you. The Trump administration will put you through a rigorous process to ensure that they don't have these illegal immigration issues. So for your visa to be processed, it's not something that can just happen overnight. We knew when we couldn't procure visas on time, this is going to be a victorious lap. This is what I call a victory lap. When things start off rough in life, like a relationship, a job, you go through all obstacles. When you start off rough, that is the best way to forecast or probably see yourself sailing through what most people fail. I knew from the time we were not eligible to enter the US, we are going to win. And I'm telling you now, you might say, hey, don't get too excited. I have every reason to. When the whole continent, where you from, says you don't deserve to be there, they don't understand. You see, let me explain something. When people say Africa is a jungle, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not a jungle. And maybe for anybody who's watching in diaspora, I will tell you who we are. South Africans are not your typical kind of, we went through apartheid and all of that hardship, but that's not who we are. When we played Mexico, we had just dealt with a lot of stress, jet lag. It was a lot going on. It was a whole lot of things. We had to climatize and finally get ourselves recalibrate and be who we really are. You know who we really are? We are a team or a nation that is immersed in a decadent lifestyle. Bafana Bafana is cool. We sexy. We are that model on the runway who stands out more than the designer. And you think she's the one. That's who we are. Don't classify us with everybody else. We are just different. We needed to go to the Louis store before kickoff to remind ourselves flair is in our nature. Excessiveness is who we are. Okay? If we could, we'll play with suede soccer boots. If we could. If they designed them, I'm telling you, that's who we are. You got to respect the fact we thrive in comfort, soft life. Yes, the boys didn't have enough time to go shopping in Mexico. That's why we played bad. And it's okay. Can you imagine? Now we are in Los Angeles. We are playing in LA, by the way. We're playing a very important match. But before we talk about that, think of all this evolution. We lose the first game. The whole Africa is celebrating our loss. They didn't understand. It's part of the plan. It is part of the plan. Who shows or plays their best cards at inception? You don't do that. We needed the world to understand. By the way, later on, I'm going to speak about Jacinta Zuma. I'm going to talk about that. But Bafana Bafana needed a champagne soft life before they could demonstrate who they really are. So if you don't understand that decadency is in our DNA, I want you to see this. Let me show you this. This is who we are. Roll that clip for me.
We're currently in the Louis Vuitton store, and they're just in here chilling, shopping around. Do you feel like it's a dream coming true? I just told you. I was just about to say, do you feel like it's a dream coming true?
Now, understand something. We didn't show up with leopard skins on our suits like we just came from the safari, a couple of animals had to die. That's not how we rolled up. And by the way, shout out to DRC. That was an amazing demonstration of flair, luxury. I mean, who kills a leopard before boarding a flight to the World Cup? That's you. We go shopping. We do the opposite. And by the way, South Korea had a different memo. When you look at their training routine, they were training for something. I think somebody said we're going for jiu-jitsu. They were not going. This training was not for soccer. This same team is the national jiu-jitsu team of South Korea, by the way, for those who didn't know. If you look at this routine, this is what you do when you train to go and fight. But when you play against soft life, all of that goes to waste. Let me show you this. We've probably seen it. Roll that clip for me. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at what? Against the most decorated soft life team? What are you training for? Look at us. Look how we move. We're not even running. We are just, this is how we prepare ourselves against the mighty South Korea. Yes, boys. Yes. Look. They are saying, when is the lunch? When is lunch? They're whispering to each other, asking, when are we going shopping? You see the way they're jogging? They haven't made conversation say, hey, is your credit card, did you deplete it? No. Oh, these players get paid, by the way. South African players get paid. And we got Louis stores all over South Africa. It's not like people that say, don't you have Louis stores? Why the one in Atlanta? No. Do you know what we're doing before the kickoff against Canada in LA? We are in Rodeo Drive. For those who don't know, by the way, Rodeo Drive is where Bafana Bafana is chilling today. They are on Rodeo Drive. They are shopping. They went there with soccer kits in their bags. Everything they packed to the U.S., they're going to leave it there. They're coming back with fresh taste of class and style and this cup. That's what we're bringing. So leave our boys alone, because everybody has this inclination when it comes to South Africa to distort the idea of our ability to win. And by the way, when you come to South Africa, the idea that we're xenophobic, we know that's not true. I dispel that narrative with every fiber in my being. But we allow you guys to say whatever you want. We will let you mock. We'll let you curse us. We'll let you say whatever that comes in your mind. It's not going to affect us. By the way, I did reach out to some of the players and say, guys, get off social media. You don't want to know how the rest of the continent thinks about you. Just get off social media. Keep the credit cards, but get off social media. And this is why I want him to get off social media. It's for something like, I want you to see the tenacity of my fellow brother, by the way, who I look forward to having pounded yam and okra when I go to Yellow Chili in Lagos. Try to check out that restaurant. It's one of my favorite, by the way. They got the best seafood okra. Oh my goodness. It's opposite. It's not far from Echo Hotel. But this is what everybody says about South Africa, because it is nice to take shots at the big dog. You know, when you take shots at the number one GDP in the continent, you feel good. You kind of feel good. I'll do. Listen, if I was in Lagos, I'll do the same thing too. Check this out.
South Africa, please come back home and stop disgracing us at the World Cup. Please come home. I look at what all the African countries at the World Cup are doing, and I look at South Africa and I want to cry.
Wow.
This has to be the most foolish I've felt in my life. South Africa has officially qualified for the World Cup round of 32. South Africa has qualified for the World Cup knockouts for the first time in their entire history. It is 4 a.m. now in Nigeria. I sacrificed my sleep to hate watch South Africa. I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed my whole day. I cleared my whole schedule. I slept throughout the day so that I can be awake to witness this hate watch. And here I am, seated like a bona fide fool, like an idiot. South Korea, thank you very much. You are one of the most useless countries at this World Cup. If it's to do K-pop, if it's to do Fine Boy, Kim Jong-un, this one, Pokoli, all of you, nonsense, man, no sabi anything. Now look at South Africa. I'm here at home being hate watch. Look at how stupid I've been made to look throughout the World Cup. World Cup started. South Africa played the first game, the opening game.
Wow. Did you hear that? He wants to cry. If he goes through our immigration, he is happy. He's not crying because he's got Cape Town, Camps Bay, Clifton. We surf in winter. We got cold water immersion. We got the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. Do you understand? We are probably one of the only countries that enjoy 2 oceans in the whole world. We just a beautiful nation. We get that. Your deep-rooted envy for South Africa is justified. We understand, okay? And we probably will give you a multiple entry because you honor the idea of coming into our country legally. Maybe let me leave that later for Jacinta, but I'm loving what's happening in this country. We have become so sensitized to what will historically shock you because of the severity or just hearing things in the news. We used to get shocked when you watch the news and you hear X amount of people died and this, and now you're watching news. News in South Africa are no longer that hardcore current affairs. They are competing with Steven Spielberg. We are making Netflix irrelevant in this country. That's what if you think you're a blockbuster producer, shame on you. Wait till you come to SA. With all the beauty that's happening in our country, there are things that are just unfolding. We are in an era of you are finally revealing that hidden child in the family that nobody knew about, and he shows up at a funeral, and nobody can object or contest it. No, because you look at him, you look at yourself, you're like, whoa, this is the biggest revelation. That's where we are. If you read the Bible, South Africa is in Revelation. The things that are coming out right now, you will think, what in the world? Did I live here? I mean, take for instance, one of the most prominent figures that's been on the headlines for probably a year, and I say prominence based on how much airtime this case has been afforded, okay? We've seen cases. This particular case has more airtime than the biggest blockbuster movie. I mean, I went to Berlin the other day and I saw the movie Michael. I enjoyed it. And I just appreciate the investment behind the marketing of the movie, but nothing gets close to this particular one. Cat Matlala turning state witness. Did you see that coming? Now I'll tell you what I don't like about this whole situation. And please, by all means, excuse me. This case has been on every channel, every streaming platform. This has got to a point where the actual case is starting right now. If you think you're a producer, first of all, hold that clip. You see, just look at that man. Look at that man. He's standing in the dark. He looks more polished than Joburg Stock Exchange CEOs. I'm telling you now, whoever is sending him outfit of the day, that person needs to dress some of you at the Dem in July. I'm telling you now, it's equivalent to the Kentucky Derby for those who don't know what Dem in July is. But the only thing I don't like about watching this case is the fact that Cat Matlala has more shades collection than I do. Have you seen, whoever is this optometrist, if you are watching this show, hit me up. The man's shades game is on steroids, okay? Now, let me explain to you what's about to happen. State witness is you are no longer an enemy to the state. They're no longer handcuffing you. They're going to take you from your cell, probably give you Lenten soup. They're going to give you some fresh almond cappuccino. It's different now. He is about to give you the behind the scene. We used to get increments of what happened, when it happened. Now this is different. State witness is like watching a movie, how it was made. He's going to take you blow by blow. He's going to explain every scene. When the Woolworths bag got out the car, what carpet, was it Persian carpet in that Bentley or what? How much was it inside the bag? It's no longer the Woolies bag now. It's what was in it. He's giving you blow by blow. That's what state witness does. You become more comprehensive. You're giving out details that you will never share in a court case. This is about to be a real movie you've been waiting for. If you thought the Madlanga Commission was the most captivating appointment viewership content on YouTube or any news platform, this is the Magna Carta. What you're about to witness is, imagine Cat Matlala giving you blow by blow of what really happened. That's what you're about to witness. I'm telling you now, this case, wherever you are in the world, I take heed, watch this. It's like seeing your favorite actor explaining to you, before I killed this person, I had an option of a knife or a gun. But I did touch the knife, but I'm like, one stab might not work. I know a gun is going to get the job done. He's giving you those type of details. Watch this. This is what's about to happen.
Waiting. I just see Bruce Lee. Then I just run up. Then he boom, pa. Suddenly, my eyes all black because he just one stick right on my head. Pa! He missed it. But I do nothing.
Did you get that? It's about to be graphical. If you ever thought you loved popcorns, oh, wait a minute. You did not have any love for popcorns. This is a different kind of presentation. You are going to hear the most scariest things ever. And I really feel like the cleansing is necessary, and it should come with people like Cat Matlala attending state witness, just to give you a full background. Because all that you've been watching is the formalities of the judiciary in court and him having his lawyer. Now he's friends with the judge. He's going to say, Judge, wait. Did I say I stabbed? No, I didn't stab. I shot. I meant shot. You are going to hear the most explicit scenes being told like it's some tongue-in-cheek. We need to learn. We got to be ready for the unfathomable. This case is going to run longer than you think. And turning state witness, we can only hope that the truth finally sets everybody free. Because there's a lot going on. It's just a lot. And if you think our law enforcement has challenges, you're going to be shocked what some of the names are going to be dropped. That's all I'm telling you. You will be. You are in a shock factor mode. Discovery, Bonitas, all you medical aid companies, take your rates up because we are coming in for stroke check. There's going to be a lot of people watching and catching a stroke. This is that season. If you don't have a medical aid or a hospital plan, I don't know what you have. You got to be close to whatever form of remedy that can help you deal with hard news, because that's where we are right now. It's going to be like, what? Who? Your neighbor that you have so much love and trust for. That's what you're going to be you're going to be living every day. There's going to be, did you hear what happened? Did you see? Maybe let me take you across the continent. Let me just take you across the continent for 2 seconds. If you think we've got problems, good luck. Good luck, Kat, with the state witness journey. Good luck with that journey. But I have never seen a country where even law enforcement is trained to give you therapy. Imagine seizing the biggest drug bust, and you are the highest ranking law enforcer, like you are the highest ranking official in law enforcement. People are like, why do you love Australia so much? Why? The humility of Australians. When you get pulled over in Australia, by the way, in the middle of a say you're probably driving reckless, or you lost. When the cops pull you over, the first thing the cops ask you is, how's your day going? And they genuinely mean it. They genuinely mean it. They look at you and say, hi. I got pulled over one time before my license got suspended because of the amount of demerits I had. The first time they pulled me over, this cop literally was having coffee. I rolled the window down. He said, how's your day going today? I'm like, oh man, amazing. It's just partly cloudy and I'm going to go play golf. He's like, really? Did you have coffee today? He asked me, did I have coffee? I'm like, no, I don't drink coffee. I try to stay away from caffeine. It's like, well, your driving is a little bit not welcomed here. Where are you from? I said, oh, I'm from Johannesburg, but, I live here. I live in Sydney. I'll say, okay, great. I don't mean to offend you, but please drive carefully because there's other pedestrians and commuters on the road. I'm like, thank you. Shook my hand, walked away. I called home. I called some of my friends that are cops. I'm like, you need to come to Australia to learn etiquette. You need to learn etiquette. Now, I need you to understand, I'm connecting the story because the biggest $1 billion drug bust in Sydney, Australia, 30 kilometers north of Sydney, to be exact. It was coming through the boats, fresh off the boats, like French Montana will say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you report on a biggest drug bust, really, you expect some cop that looks like the Terminator. You want a strong, you pull your face, you act like, because that's your moment to shine. Normally cops, when they know they're going to be on camera, they even go for a haircut. You put your meanest look to instill the fear of God in any small-time drug dealer in the street. But this presentation here, the fact that this senior high-ranking law enforcement officer is urging all the drug dealers to go for soul searching. Did you hear that? You think this is how you give a report on a $1 billion, which is equivalent of 13 billion rands. Roll this clip. I want you to see this.
Someone's lost a lot of money. I think that's fair to say. But from policing perspective, with New South Wales Police, the AFP, Queensland Police, law enforcement is ready to respond. But yeah, it's fair to say someone's lost a lot of money, and there'll be some soul searching, no doubt, about losing this significant quantity, Australia's largest quantity of cocaine.
Did you hear what he said? There's going to be some soul searching, no doubt. You were expecting $1 billion of cocaine. Before you lose your mind, you go on your knees and say, Lord, I hereby come before you. You go for a soul searching. Before people get killed, there's a soul searching conference for all the drug dealers in Australia this weekend. This weekend, they're looking for the inner man to help them deal with the fact that $1 billion of cocaine has been seized. That's what the cops is telling you. Nobody is losing their mind. They are going for a soul searching. I love this man. I love him. He is a therapist and a cop. He understands. There's a big mafia, somebody waiting for his $1 billion worth of cocaine. And the best recommendation is for that man to go for soul searching. When last did you go for some soul searching? When last did you do some soul searching? You won't even go for a soul search. I mean, you probably lost something that is dear to you, like the way the mafia has lost $1 billion of cocaine. When last did you do some soul searching? Maybe we should take some type of guidance. And I don't know if our cops are at that level. I don't know. I know our cops are dealing with a lot. I don't want to talk too much about what our cops are dealing with. But I can imagine at a time as a nation where there's so much distortion of information. Do you know how many things get distorted in the media? And I want to dispel the idea that we are xenophobic. It's about time, because let me tell you something. We're not xenophobic. I don't even think the term is used appropriately. I generally don't think we're using this term. When you look at the character of our sister, Jacinta Zuma, that I had the honor to talk to, just to understand, what are you trying to do? Where are you going with this? Because every cause, every march, anything you advocate for has to have an objective. There's got to be a point, when it gets here, we have now exhausted all, or we have expressed our deepest concern or outcry, like this is where we are and we expect people to know or react. Now, she is calling on every South African to reflect and say, are things normal where kids are being sold counterfeit products by tech shop owners that you cannot even know, you can't even go to their aunt. If you sold me fake cookies, I'm going to tell your mom. I'm telling your aunt, I'm telling your mom, I'm telling your pastor. Say, that tea bag, that Ray-Boss is not Roy. I'm telling on you. There's, to a certain degree, a moral obligation to sell a product that it's not going to harm you. You feel I cannot sell you what I know has some probably bad health effects on your body. Our kids are being sold counterfeit products, and not just kids, but the fact that we know historically, when we had tech shop, these are small businesses in the township. Some of us grew up knowing, I'm going to buy at Me Mukwena store. And Me Mukwena store sells that bread is fresh. And we loved it. But there was this patriotic behavior as a community we expressed towards each other. Even if we had 5 loaves, we'll still want to buy 1 loaf a day because you want to support Me Mukwena. You love her. There was that level of solidarity. Okay? Now with the new owners, who happen not to be South African nationals, and by the way, I'm not knocking on your hustle. Your hustle, in terms of value chain, has to respect the fact that people are consuming your products. Let's start there. Humans. So if you're going to sell me fake water, by the way, allow me to take a sip. And I drink this, and this conversation comes to an end. Where's the lid? Anyway, IAS Studios is clean. I can trust this open. I got to give a shout out to you guys, though. Prepared this whole set for me. I appreciate that. And thanks to the lady who was hoovering the carpet before I started the show. I could see that you were doing it because probably it's me. I hope you do it with all clients. But I pay premium, so they prepared the studio nicely for me. I didn't get this for free. It's not a favor. I hate favors. Has somebody ever done you a favor and you wish you paid so that you can, when you pay for something, you can yell. Get the lights fixed, you can yell. But when it's a favor and the lights go off, you're like, oh, yeah, we understand. You're going to take anything they offering you because it's a favor. But Jacinta is saying business is affected. Family structures. You have people who rob you. And the forensics department can't even trace who they are because they're undocumented. This is the nucleus of the problem. When crime is committed, there's some form of solace. You feel comfortable when you see a law enforcement in a uniform arriving in a scene with a pen and paper, asking you questions like they're going to solve the crime. Say, how tall was he? Give me skin tone. Was he like me? Was he handsome like me? You feel like when you share that information, they're going to catch the perpetrator. Now, when you commit crime, under the current circumstances, you don't have any tools to compile your investigation accurately because the bulk of the perpetrators happen to be undocumented immigrants. This is the conversation I picked up from talking to her. Do I know it? Yes, I've been robbed before. I've been robbed, 3 a.m. in the morning. And you know what was cool about the guys that robbed me? They made a call. So when I told my cell phone provider that, hey, by the way, my network provider, excuse me, I've been robbed and my phone was taken, they said, oh, the first call that was made was right across the border. They were telling Tinashe. I'm just throwing that name. It came to my head because he's an amazing sommelier at my favorite restaurant. They were telling Tinashe, hey, Tinashe, do you want the new iPhone? They didn't make the call to Paris or Bloemfontein. They called across the first conversation. So what does it tell you? The only way the cops could tell me what they think was based on the conversation held using my airtime. Do you know how expensive it is to call abroad? I mean, they didn't have the decency to call a local. They made the call, and I was robbed. It was way back. The guys that robbed me wore my hats. When they woke me up, I was sleeping. They woke me up. They had my hoodie and a cap. The reason why I'm pissed off is this cap, this particular cap. I bought this cap in a place, Pitt Street, Atlanta, by the way. Okay? It was a special cap. It meant a lot because there was a special occasion at that time, and I bought the cap. Now, they got into the house and took the TV downstairs. By the time they came upstairs, they had already been through my closet. And the guy felt the need to wake me up because they wanted to know, do I have any cash lying anywhere? And they were so decent. They're like, Baba, yeah. Tapped me. I'm like, whoa. Now, when I saw my cap, I felt comfortable. Man, these are my boys, guys. Why are you waking me up in my sleep? But I realized this is robbery because the gun was literally on my neck. I report the case. The first thing law enforcement tells me, Tbo's, be happy you are alive because we don't have any fingerprints. We do not. We don't know who robbed you. By the way, do you know there's a special down the road? Give yourself a burger. Like the conversation shifted to, it was like, we deal with this all the time. And I hate being part of the statistics, but if you're law enforcement, I come to you as my last resort. Don't try and say, oh, by the way, last week, you know who else was robbed? And they mentioned 4 celebrities. Like, oh, I feel better. I'm not the only one. Is that the best response you can give me? That, oh, Tbo's, this happens all the time? So the issue of illegal immigrants has nothing with it has nothing to do with we don't want you here. Let's not please distort the fact that we cannot compile a thorough, accurate investigation by having your fingerprints and having you documented is already a problem. Are we the first country to go through this problem? Of course not. We just happen to be the soft target. Just like my brother with Bafana Bafana, we are the easiest. We are at the south of the continent. That's why this country is a direction. We are South Africa. Literally. Other countries have a name. Egypt, Rwanda, Nigeria. We are a south of the continent. That's who we are. It's easy to go for such. We're the most, by the way, Google this. The friendliest nation in the world in 2026. You know who won that? South Africa. The friendliest nation. You know who was the friendliest in 2025? Mexico. I can keep going. I can give you 2024. Of all the countries in the world, the first African country to be labeled the friendliest in the world is South Africa. So please, eat your heart out. Take that. Listen. And how dare you? How dare you? Who's that guy who used to sell people holy water? He's now a fugitive. Send buses. Bushiri, yeah, that guy. Send buses. He says, he says, I've been working with the embassy of Malawi in South Africa to ensure our Malawians are safely brought back home. So you're a fugitive, talking to an embassy, coordinating. Do you understand all of this that don't make sense? You are coordinating the return of illegal immigrants. Why is it every time this name is mentioned, something that does not add up is synonymous to him? Why? And I'm sorry for you right now if you're watching this and you still put the lotion that he prayed for. I'm really sorry. If you still have that water that you paid for, you might as well resort to Fiji. Because people were buying those buckets of water saying, our kids are going to get jobs. And every time you sprinkle that water to your family member, they got fired or retrenched. Because don't mock God. Do not. Anytime you're going to be making a mockery of the sanctity of the Almighty, God has a way to speak, to respond and humiliate you. And God will. People have used the name of God for ludicrous, atrocious, I'm talking humanly immoral activities. And ignorance is a multi-billion-dollar industry for most people who do not understand that the idea of spirituality, you have full sovereignty to get on your own knees and pray for yourself, by the way. God can heal you, hardcore sinner, saved by grace, just like me. That's who we are. But that's not my point, by the way. I'm glad I never went to that church. They finally get congregated in a city called Durban. By the way, go to Durban right now. You will appreciate how beautiful it is. I'm not saying anything, but the idea of Jacinta Zuma, I feel like she is a big sister that everybody has to first give her a chance. You got to give a big sister a chance. She's a big sister. Does anybody have a big sister? I'm not even talking about a big brother. When a big sister is pissed off, she needs to be corrected. And I'm glad that there are certain things you got to comply with when you pull a march. So I asked, did you get approval from the municipality? You got to apply. You got to get environmental. You have to inform certain institutions in society that's got to be, you got to be compliant. You just can't wake up and say, hey, we're marching against illegal immigrants. So it looks like they ticked the box with the 30th. We're having a big march in South Africa, 30th June. And everybody is going out in the media saying, hey, this march, this march. My prayer is it's got to be nonviolent. There's nothing wrong with a peaceful protest. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's everything wrong with threatening the big sister not to be vocal on issues that we knew they're going to compound from a crisis to a nightmare. And now we are in a nightmare. Every politician is using this opportunity to have a 2-cent opinion. Let the big sister do what she wants to do. And maybe this is the big sister we all need to redeem this beautiful country. I don't know. But if this is Jacinta, this is who Jacinta is. Ngobese as a big sister. Check her out.
Be quiet to my sister. I'm not gonna be. I'm done with these.
With these what?
She's done.
Kids, because they were being mean to my sis, and I don't like it anymore. I like being nice to them. I'm done. I'm done being nice to these other kids. The kids, when I be friends, they be mean to me in faith. They be mean to me.
Yes. She's done. Let the big sister be, she's done. What she's saying, Jacinta Ngobese-Zuma is saying, I used to be a nice girl. I used to understand when there were conflicts. I'll get it. When we fought over this, we could coexist, but I'm done. I'm done. She's done. So the expression of the 30th of June is a big sister saying, I'm done. I'm done. What happens post, we do not know. We do not know. But am I going to be quiet like the rest of my friends in the industry who are trying to protect the bag? No. We have a national obligation to be the voice for the voiceless. That's why we are on TV. That's why we are on social media with blue ticks. Not to get brand campaigns and it's all about securing a bag when your backyard used to be a fountain and now it's a sewer. That's what's going on. When something is not yours or you didn't build it, you don't even care on how you treat it. That's why I don't borrow anybody my cars. Have you ever borrowed somebody your car and they return it with no petrol, no diesel. And not only that, there's a sign beeping saying whatever it is that was not there before you gave it to them. And they give you the keys saying, oh gosh, thank you for borrowing me your car. I'm late. I need to go. I'll see you. They don't even explain to you, by the way, the tank is empty. I think I damaged the shocks or something. There's a sign that's... Because what goes in keeping it is determined by what went in getting it. If you didn't pay a price to get something, you don't care how you use it. You are not part of the acquisition. So you are not sensitive to sustaining it. You just use it. You come in here, no papers, and I saw the other guy one time delivering my food, by the way. I love my guys. Whatever happens on the 30th, we need our delivery guys. They are safe. Don't touch those delivery guys because I need my DoorDash. I need my food. No. They are off the hook. We need our food, okay? But the one time, this guy is delivering. I ordered one of my favorite, chicken licken. He gives me my package. I take it and I give him a tip. You know what he did when he turned around? Literally peed right outside my gate. Now, the shock for me was not even, do you know I can see you? It wasn't even about that. It was the level of comfort in putting his pants outside my house, peeing on my lawn. Because to him, he needs to pee. By the way, does anybody ever think about how hard their life these guys are? They don't even have bathrooms. I can understand. But he is not there to buy my fertilizer. He doesn't pay my gardener. So when you don't pay for something, you don't care about its upkeep. Anybody who's been to my house, my grass is so green, I want you to hate your house. My grass, because I'm a golfer, by the way. I want you, the phrase, it doesn't get greener on the other side, the person who came with that phrase came to my house. Because you need to appreciate how much I pay just to keep my lawn green. I might not have certain things and aesthetics in place, but I love my lawn. I was raised in Sharpeville. Anybody who knows Sharpeville, 4318 Mareka Street will tell you. One signature stand out about my home was the garden. Small as that house was, we prepared that garden like it was a castle because I was raised in a family that respects how to protect the immediate space and look after it. I was raised with the principle of you can't be a public successor and a private failure. That's me. So if anything, we preached about hygiene, loving yourself, because by the way, coming from a church family, you cannot demonstrate love for self, but where you live, it does not resonate. So this gentleman pees. And I said to him, why you gotta do that? You could have asked me for the bathroom. He said, we don't even talk to most of the customers. We deliver your food and I was too pressed. And you know the way he apologized, I didn't even want to ask where is he from. But I was tempted because I wanted to ask, is this normal where you come from? Which I believe it's not. It is not. I traveled this continent more than anybody I know. I want to give a shout out, by the way. Kigali is the most cleanest city in the world. We have it in us to love our space. But when something is not yours, when you don't pay for its upkeep, when you don't know what it took to have it so lush and so admirable, when you don't participate in the sacrifice that goes in keeping this studio clean, you will probably not appreciate the fact that it's costly. But it's a conscious issue. You have to be conscious about it. When you walk into a space and you know you found this space, probably there was beautiful sage in the air, and your armpits are intercepting the beauty and the tranquil, you need to go for some soul searching. It takes a lot to walk in a place that is kept quite well over a period of time for you to walk into that space and just deplete it. That's why I hate renting out. I no longer want to have tenants because tenants, it's not their property. They do anything to your house and they deplete it. And when that contract is over, you got to go through all that mess. Nobody in this world understands the pain of a dilapidated property like a landlord who handed over that property in good conditions just to give it to somebody who does not care. So maybe this particular cry, maybe what we are trying to say is when you come in to this beautiful country, which we also, by the way, don't hit 10 out of 10 in keeping it safe. I'm not saying the perpetrators are people or foreign nationals. That is not true. That is not true. We do have some people who are permanent. Anyway, we'll get there. Now, I have to feel bad for these guys, but these are a few of the thousands undocumented illegal immigrants in Durban. And I'm sorry, man. We got to consider things like how many bathrooms do they even have access to? What are their living conditions? Because they still have human rights. But the way they're going on, you know when you want to help somebody, but they have an attitude, you want to help them. But they have this attitude that they want to start ordering caviar at a refugee center. That does not happen. You need to let our law enforcement do their job, document you accordingly. Then you can get on Uber Eats. But this is not the moment where... Play this clip. Roll this.
About 8,000 migrants are being processed at the temporary repatriation sites. Police were called in to intervene several times as tension built up in the queues. Authorities say the process is gaining momentum, but police are also nabbing those with criminal records.
We've had one person already arrested who's wanted for rape of a minor, and we cannot allow those people to escape justice by leaving the country. So that work is very important. The work of Home Affairs is critical because the verification is done in terms of whether this person was in South Africa illegally. And if they were, the law requires us to declare them undesirable for a period of 5 years so that they can't come back. Then the work of our Malawian colleagues is critical because they have to issue these group passport documents. Almost all of the people here don't have passports. So for them to even just leave the country, they need to be issued. And we've just engaged with the Malawian High Commission to say, can we assist? Can we provide some more hands? Can we provide some more tools to make sure that we speed up that process as well? So I think from a logistical point of view, we're starting to hit our stride on a very difficult operation.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the Minister of Home Affairs. Do you understand? He was supposed to make a potjie kos. He was supposed to be home cooking potjie. He is in Durban dealing with 8,000 that showed up, by the way. There's over 45,000 illegal immigrants just from one country, Malawi. Of the 54 plus countries in Africa, this is one. Of that one, it's a quarter of the population. 8,000 people that have to be documented. Just think about the amount. It's an exorbitant exercise emotionally and monetarily. Can we do this process, please? We will welcome you back when you have papers. Did you hear the crime? Rape of a minor. Killings. I'm not saying lesser crimes are acceptable, but the challenge here is how do you hold somebody accountable if you can't even trace them? You are looking for a Phantom of the Opera. That's what you're looking for, that. Casper the Friendly Ghost. That's who you're looking for. Can you take a ghost to jail? No. No. That's what. Do you understand how bad this is? And we need to pray for that man. Of all departments, right now, the most toughest department to work for is Home Affairs. Because either way, the cleansing is inevitable. We're gonna have to do it. We have no choice. I'm sorry. There's no way. I was very careful. How do I say this? It's gotten so bad you can't even sugarcoat it. You cannot. You cannot. It's as bad as South Korea's loss. After that workout, and you lose to the most soft life, coolest, sexiest team, well, you had to lose, but not with that workout. The idea that South Africans are anti-other African nationals, I dispel that. I rebuke that. We cannot continue with that narrative. It does not fly. We have amazing doctors from Ghana. I know one. My doctor's from Ghana, by the way. We have amazing. My friend is from Tunisia. We play golf together. He's okay. He's rich. He's not a good example to use. I have a friend from Kenya. Yeah, he was trying to get me into running. We don't do that out here. That's not what we do. No. But I'm saying we are the friendliest nation in the world. And the idea that we don't love our African brothers and sisters is fiction. We know that's not true. But there's everything wrong with everybody thinking going through any border illegally can secure you life across. That's not how it should be done anywhere in the world. Anywhere. That's not how it should be done. And maybe what we're saying as a nation is we have reference of walking on small street peacefully. The Garden Court, that beautiful blue glass building, have you seen it today in Joburg Central? Did you have coffee at the Carlton Hotel, where I first met Mam Winnie Mandela, by the way? Their carpet was so thick, the chandeliers. There are buildings that have been taken over in CBD. Illegally. And who are the occupants? Come on. Reflect on that. Is that what you will want to see in your own home country? How many South Africans are staying in other countries illegally? You better come back home. You better come back home because we're winning this World Cup. You better come back home. You need to come back home and help us blow this vuvuzela. Come back. The fact of the matter is, it's not sustainable to go on this tangent as a nation and allow something that could have been dealt with early to compound to this level. The spark is no longer that. It's now a combustion. And this combustion was all these small cries when we started seeing people living under the bridges, starting a small plastic city right in Woodmead, Joburg. Google that. Right outside my golf course, there's a plastic city. All these little, when you turn a blind eye on a tumor, it now evolves to being a cancer. There are things you gotta stop early in life before they become uncontrollable. It applies with your health. It applies with you as a person. You cannot continue with a certain addiction and don't think that the effects aren't just, they get to a point where you can't even deal with it medically. We can't help you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know who's calling me right now. I'm on a podcast. The fact of the matter is this. Any family, any unit, any group of people, love for self is demonstrated by how you love the person next to you. I generally think we love our African brothers and African sisters, but we just don't appreciate the way some of you think you can continue bashing the idea or this narrative that we hate our fellow brothers. We just cannot do that. We just cannot, it just cannot be order of the day. So maybe our cry, our plea is simple. Come into South Africa, but come in with documents. Simple as that. That for me, in anywhere in the world, we wouldn't have issues of immigration. We wouldn't have all these issues of, we spend so much money dealing with things that could just cost probably less if we did things right. And I believe that this is the turnaround because the entire world is going through this. The Prime Minister of Britain had to resign because he failed on the issue of illegal immigration. So it's not a South African thing. We know it's not. And Ghana, you've had that too with Nigerians. Uganda, you've had that too. So when it's South Africa's turn, we can't just blow things out of proportion and say we hate our fellow brothers and sisters. That is not true. That is not true. Nobody cooks okra soup like I do. I'll make you the best egusi with pounded yam or gari. Have you had dansala soup? Come to my house. Come to my house. I'll make you seafood okra. That's me. So in the name of solidarity and respecting one another, let's allow the 30th to happen and keep it peaceful. And thank you for watching. May God bless South Africa and the cup we are going to win at the World Cup. Thank you.